Yo!
We are Brooke and Sid.
And we're talking BS.
Belief systems, of course. Thoughts create our realities, and we are passionate about creating better thoughts.
Join us as we figure out life from the inside out. Figure out what's holding you back and how to get out of your own way. Come join us as we talk BS.
Hello, legends.
Yo!
What is up? It is Brooke and Sid.
Welcome back to Talking BS.
Today,
Yes.
with a guest.
The man, the myth, the legend. We're here with confidence guru, Mr. Anthony Never Stop Smiling Ikin.
It really is true. I never stop smiling. I think I smile when I sleep.
Yeah, true.
Would you doubt that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You'll have to ask Pete. So stoked to have you here. I feel like this has been a chat that's been so long overdue.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Just to dive into this world of self-confidence.
And I'm so proud of what you two are up to. I've been waiting each end of week for the podcast to be launched, and I'm loving what you're putting out there.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Feels good. Feels good.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully everyone out there's getting a little something from the BS we're talking.
They are.
So
I am.
Fantastic.
Still, I love this journey of it never ends, that journey towards bettering yourself or discovering certain patterns that are causing a negative result in your life and things like that. It just never ends, that journey. So
Non-stop.
keep doing what you're doing.
Can you, on the tip of that journey, let everyone know who you are, what you've done, and just a little bit about your journey in this realm of self-confidence? And how
Totally.
Yeah.
So I love the confidence guru introduction. It's a word that still makes me cringe a little bit, the guru situation, but I'm confidently claiming the title.
Yeah.
But that's still really new to me. I have a business called Ikin Achieve, and it is in the space of self-development, and I also work as a motivational or keynote speaker. More recently, kind of just uncovered that a lot of the stuff I present on, or the people that I work with, it's the lane of confidence that I cause most transformation in, and that's self-confidence or confidence in a team or a working environment with athletes or celebrities or whatever it is. I think there's so many people out there that can do with work on their own confidence. So I've really kind of chosen that lane to go down, and I'm loving it.
Good.
I love it. It's my new passion.
You're so good at it.
Oh,
So
thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
It's
feel there's been so many times in my life that I've actually thought, I'm like, what would Andy do?
100%. You were both monumental, I feel like, in our journeys with
absolutely.
self-confidence as well. I remember the first time I met you, I was like, he's glowing.
Yeah.
Like, you just beam with self-confidence all
Aw.
of the time. And I just love that. It's so influential to everyone that comes across you as well.
It's a
you.
frequency. And
Oh, yeah,
it
100%.
causes resonance around you.
Yeah.
I love it.
So how would you describe self-confidence?
I think everyone's on their own confidence journey. I also think it's important to know that confidence can be soaring in some areas of life and completely depleted in others, and everywhere in between. So it can have a really kind of different result in so many different areas of your life. But I put self-confidence down to three things. And the first one is the confidence that you have with yourself. And that can be, I cautiously use the word self-love because I know a lot of people, they struggle with just love as a word in general, whether it's in a relationship sense or anything. Like the word love can really scare people off. So it's about finding things about yourself that you like, having things that you like. And it's important to know, I think those things need to be decided on by you, for you. They can't be decided on what someone else likes about you or what you think someone else will like about you. You've got to be in that game of what do you like about yourself? And it's something that is uniquely yours to like about yourself. From there, I think that can grow into self-love. When you start to just like yourself and you get in the practice of that, whether that's daily, weekly, whatever it is, whatever that looks like, it can definitely grow to love. And I think the layer beyond that is when you can kind of tick that box of, hey, I like a few things about myself and I'm playing that game regularly. I think you get to the level of being in the game of self-esteem, and that's putting yourself out there in environments that you usually wouldn't. And it doesn't mean you have to win at them. It doesn't mean you will lose at them. Yeah. It's just being in the game. Yeah. And that will grow that muscle of self-confidence bigger and bigger and bigger. And I use the word muscle because it is just like a muscle.
Yeah.
You've got to be working it all the time.
Yep.
And so that's where self-esteem comes into it. The third and final tier for me is language and thoughts, is using language with confidence, is to speak confidence into existence.
Yep.
And do that first, and your mindset should change based on your language. And I was just telling you guys before we even got on here, I don't know anyone, or I haven't met anyone yet, that is completely negative voice free or completely in the most blissful state where they don't get like agitated or have insecure thoughts or have a toxic thought just enter their mind. I've never met them yet. The difference is they get to a place where they can recognize it so early in its tracks that they can change its course before it changes theirs.
Yeah, and you've met some pretty amazing people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I ask them that question all the time, and it just doesn't exist. Like, you know, you kick your shin and it's freezing cold on the coffee table in the morning, and everyone goes to a place of like, life sucks.
Why me?
How dare life do this to me?
Yeah.
But it's having the ability to be able to get yourself out of there. So for me, that's the confidence tiers that I love to work with people on. And it's putting all of those three things into play. And I think confidence over time can go from really minimal or non-existent to something pretty incredible for each person or team or group or whatever it is.
So good.
I love that. I love that the flow really that's what Talking BS is all about, those thoughts inside.
Yeah.
And finding that confidence from within, but then also not being frustrated at yourself.
Yeah.
Like cleansing your thoughts so that when you do have a negative thought.
Because it is a journey.
It is.
It's like no one just wakes up the next day and is 100% the most confident person ever, right?
No, it does not exist.
Yeah.
And it changes all the time.
Yeah.
Year to year or, month to month, your confidence can be circumstance affected.
Yep.
And I don't think there's ever a level of like 100% confident in all areas of life.
I guess the goal is then to build those coping mechanisms throughout life so that you can catch those moments earlier.
Yes.
And then be able to deal with them better.
Yeah.
Recognize and change course
Yeah.
is what I'm all about. And it's being able to recognize as early as you can in that game of toxic thoughts or negative behavior or being in gossip or drama or things like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of recognizing it early is key.
I know some people feel like they don't have the ability to be a confident person. Do you think anyone can be self-confident?
Yes.
Self-confident? I
I do. I know you guys have been hitting hard lately with topics. And I think this is a hard-hitting stance on that too. I think we fill our life with excuses and reasons not to be a certain way to justify living that way.
Yeah.
And we can all be in that game of excuses of, I've never had confidence and I never will be. Well, that's a lie. You've got to do the work.
It's your choice,
We can fill our lives with all this evidence that we've built up over time to justify the unhappiness and the life that we don't want to live. And we can go through life just collecting more and more evidence and being in the blame game to just justify this really unhappy stance. But as soon as you can actually start to point the finger at yourself and start to go, hang on a sec, I'm the captain of this ship. I steer in whatever direction I want, and I'm going to choose to have more happiness in my life. I'm going to choose to work on my confidence. I'm going to choose to associate myself with more optimistic and positive people. You watch your life change, but that's a choice. But you can also have the choice to sit in blame and excuses and collect evidence to justify exactly where you're at.
Yeah. And people don't like hearing that that's a comfort zone, but that's exactly what it is.
Well, people hate knowing that it's their own fault.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's double-edged in that once you acknowledge it's your own fault, accountability, once you take accountability, you then have the power to change it.
Yes.
But until you take accountability, it'll always be someone else's fault, somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
And it'll just continue to happen.
So there you go, from a self-confidence guru.
You heard it.
Be confident. Think again. You've been told.
You've been told
It's
there's
possible.
no excuses. Absolutely everyone can.
Love that for everyone.
And if you think you can't, that's your own BS. You know, that's the truth that you're choosing to believe And if you think you can't, you actually have the power to change that and change that narrative as well.
The choice, that's so true. It's hard hitting, but it is the truth. The
Yep.
choice is with you to be any which way.
Yes.
And that can be happy, that can be feeling blessed,
Yeah.
it can be negative or toxic or dramatic or gossipy.
In your life, did you go through a journey where, was there a transformation in you, or have you always been this way?
There's been a few circumstances which have led me to be quite an optimistic person. But I want to say I do the work on myself. I can still be gossipy, and I can still be, like, recently, and I can still be consumed with negative thoughts and, like, insecure and worried about what other people are thinking. But I'm constantly in the game of doing the work, which is recognizing and do what it takes to get out of it.
Yep.
But my actual confidence from a circumstantial point of view hasn't come from wins and successes. A lot of it has come from my own journey of upset and indifference, and being uniquely me and figuring out a way to just be okay with that, and not just be okay with that, but that those things become my superpower. And I think my journey of coming out, my journey of having a husband, my journey of being a father through surrogacy, these were all perceived obstacles for me as a child. And then I've gotten to the point of using those things as the fuel to make me even more unstoppable, to make me even more of a force than I ever was before. But how easy that could have been for me at any point.
Yep.
To be like, I don't want to be gay, I should just do what society says I should do. Or then coming out and going, well, I'll never get married, so I just won't even put that into my future. And then, like, I can't be a dad because that's just, like, how does that happen? And no one else has done that. But it's just not using those shoulds and society expectations as the thing to stop you. And I think when I look at my own confidence now, it is a direct result of overcoming those things that were so embedded into me that would never happen to me.
So cool.
And so I just think, anyone tells me no,
Yeah.
F that.
Yeah.
I'm coming in strong.
Love that.
That's huge. I love
Anything's
that.
possible. I literally hold my 15-month-old son and just think, if I could rewind 30 years,
Yeah.
none of this was possible.
Wow.
None of this. And I'm holding my own child in my own hands, and it's so friggin' magical that it, especially because what I had to overcome from my own mindset to get to that point.
Yeah. So we recently did a episode which was based around bullying, and we know that you experienced bullying growing up, and we just kind of want to tie in how, if you're going through bullying, how that affects self-confidence and how it cannot at the end of the day. How would you help people who are experiencing bullying?
I would firstly want that person to know you will be okay, because in the dark times of being bullied, in the depths of it all, that is the furthest thing from your mind, that everything will work out.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, for me now, bullying was one of the best things I could have gone through, because the resilience that I have, the thick skin that I have, is a direct result of having gone through that experience. But I know at the time, none of that helps. So the key things that I say to anyone going through that is that you will be okay.
Yeah.
And there are people that you can reach out to and ask for help and guidance on how to deal with it. So never be afraid to reach out and ask for help.
Is there a thought that you have that helps you flip that? Like something that when you're in it and you're really feeling it, how can someone who's in it could possibly flip that feeling of despair into resilience? Is there something
It's hard, and I'm assuming, I don't know, but maybe your audience might be parents or things that are experiencing that, or have family members that are going through times like that. The thing that makes it difficult is the bullying age is really from like 10 through to 18 kind of thing. And those coping mechanisms aren't fully developed yet. It's life experience that gets you there.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of just, if you have someone around you, is to shower them just with love and acceptance, and try not to judge. Be cautious of the words that you're using around these people, because I know bullying can be very much, it's the unique things, it's the different things. It can be body shapes, it can be sexualities, it can be like all of those things come into play when you're being bullied. But those people just need to know that they're loved and accepted for exactly who they are.
Yeah.
And they might not get it from school, but they can certainly get it from everyone else. So if you're out there and listening to this, continue that love spray journey of making everyone feel that their unique self is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that comes back to the 3 levels that you were talking about before, with the self-love, or the language kind of fueling into that self-love.
Yeah.
And then building that coping mechanism in kids or in yourself to have the resilience, then to have the self-esteem, not to feel bullied.
Having the conversations is building the mechanism.
Yeah.
Is speaking to whoever it is that's in that space, whether they want to open up or not. It's just starting that journey of being open and authentic, and creating a safe space for them to come at any point in time to be able to share what's happening.
Yeah. I think if you hold that space or create that space as well, it gives them permission to step into it, to talk about it. Because if someone is in that space, or if someone is feeling that despair, they are not in a headspace to create an environment where they can talk about it comfortably without that feeling of judgment. So I think if you can bring that safe space to them.
And at that age, my family, no one outside of my grade or whoever was around me at school knew the depths of the bullying, because I didn't want to tell anyone. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's shameful. You want to come home and seem like, no, it's great. I've got friends and it's cool and I'm doing this. Like, no one shares fully their experience. So a lot of the time people just don't know.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And the ones who love and care and want to help and support are the ones you end up hiding it from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on Talkin' BS, we love to always, every episode, leave our listeners with some tips.
Actionable items.
Yeah. Something they can take away from every single episode.
Yep. Yeah.
So, considering you're a self-confidence guru, what?
That's a really nice crown you're wearing as well.
Yeah.
Those of you that listen, Anthony's wearing this giant golden crown that has the word self-confidence guru.
Which I'm not. I do have rainbow nails though.
He does have rainbow nails. Just show them on YouTube. Show them that. Yeah.
I do. I have.
We love that.
Fantastic.
But what are your top 3 tips or tools on improving self-confidence?
Yep.
Top 3. Oh, I would say the very first thing is to listen to more Talking BS. Did you like that?
Yeah,
Love it. Checking them out.
What I mean by that is be in the game of continual work in the self-development space.
Yeah.
I'm always learning and growing, not just listening to confidence podcasts or different things, but I love the evolution of self-growth when I'm in that game. And being in that game, working on my own BS or other things makes me a more confident person, because I get to know myself so much more. And when I can fully know myself, then I know exactly who I am. And then I have more things that I really like about myself, which can lead to love about myself.
Yeah.
So stay in that game, or get in the game of continual work in self-development, self-growth. And it never ends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never ends. There's aha moments for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So stay in that space. I have a scientific one that I really love, is your smile releases positive hormones inside your body to make you feel a lot better, even when the smile is fake.
Wow.
Really?
So the muscles used in your face release feel-good emotions.
Wow.
So even when you don't want to feel, if you don't feel like it, you can still smile, and things will change slightly.
Yep.
So get in the game of smiling more. The more and more you smile, they do become more natural over time. And if you can become a more smiley person, it leads to a lot of wonderful things
Yeah.
and results. The third one is get in that game of building your self-esteem. Get in the game of out of your comfort zone, taking risks.
Yes.
And not have your decision to do so be based on a win or lose or a certain result. Just be in the game. And being in the game alone takes confidence. And you're working that muscle that we're talking about. So not just get into the game, stay in the game, regardless of any result.
Yep.
That'd probably be my top three right now.
So good.
I have a fourth one.
Oh, yeah.
Call, I can achieve.
Yeah. Absolutely. Get your head around that.
100%.
Yeah,
We are not going to leave here today without you hearing about I Can Achieve. It is something that if you are struggling with self-confidence will help you monumentally, if that's a word.
Yeah, that's a word.
Yeah.
It's a good word.
Tell us what it's about.
Yeah. How do people connect with you on this?
Well, my main source is on Instagram. So my handle is @Anthony Ikin. Ikin spelled IKIN.
Yep.
You can link through there to my website, but I share a lot of just great value, whether you choose to see me one day or not, just for free on Instagram. But confidence is in so many areas of life, but I work with young teens. I work with just people wanting to start a small business, someone that wants to find more passion in their life and they don't even know what that is yet, right through to I work with celebrities, athletes, sports team, corporations, just finding and using certain tools that will really help people's confidence grow exponentially and produce really amazing results because of that, because I do think confidence is at the core of success.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love that that's the truth across all of those sectors. As a human being, wherever you are being a human, the more confident you are doing it, the better you'll be at whatever it is you're being.
Yeah,
Totally.
I didn't even think finding a passion would have anything to do with self-confidence, but now that I think about it, if you have a passion and you're like, you love it, that would bring you so much self-confidence.
Oh my God.
In knowing who you are and what you want to do. And I didn't even think that was related, but 100% it is.
And intermingled as well, in that some people feel like they don't have a passion,
Yeah.
but if they work on the things, and sometimes that can be overwhelming, going, I don't know what my calling is, I don't know what I'm here to do, but if you work on the things that give you the self-love, that give you the confidence, that can help you in turn find your passion.
100%. I've worked with countless people just on that, discovering what their passion is or rediscovering, because as kids we have very different passions.
Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be the same thing as adults, but there's things about that childhood passion that can translate into your adulthood one, even if they're different things. There'll be common ground between them both. So it's figuring that out, adding it to your life.
Something I want to add as well is sometimes people reach out to a coach when they hit rock bottom, or they feel like, you need help. You need help, so you go get help. But I think anyone at any stage, even if you're elite, like you said, athletes, you got these top corporations, even if you're at the top of your game, if you've got a growth mindset, you can get better.
Yeah.
So, you can
100%.
reach out to a coach. We do that when we go to the gym. We do that in the physical realm. We go, I'll get a PT, and I know I'll get results.
Yeah.
But I feel like people aren't they just don't realize that they can do that for their life.
Yeah, and we're getting there.
Yeah,
I was living in
happening
America
more.
for a couple of years, and their mindset's very different to therapy and coaching and things like that. They're much more all for it than Australia, but we're getting there. And I always say this, like our sports teams, in a sporting sense, there's only one way to become better as a sports team. You have a great coach, right? And then the coach kind of leads you through all the right things and tools and tips that you need to win games or whatever it is. But separate to a sports game, what is the biggest game out there? It's the game of life.
Yeah.
So why would we be resistant to having a coach help us navigate, us have the most success or the most happiness possible?
Absolutely. And if you treat yourself like that athlete, you kind of get a team around you, and your team could be podcasts, could be books, could be people, could be mentors, could be a coach.
Yeah.
But by having that team, you level yourself up and give yourself the best shot at being the best version of yourself.
Totally. And I've never worked with one client ever that has said, well, wish I didn't do that.
Yeah.
If your life is moving forward and you're producing results, no one goes, what a silly decision that was.
Ew, why would you? Why would you? Absolutely. Oh, and I love that. And I love that it all stems back to self-confidence. That's where it really all comes from.
Definitely.
Because if you're in a world where you're in that doom and gloom and victim mentality and you're struggling, then you don't really see this as an option for you. But
and when I have hindsight, which we were talking about before, hindsight, I am meant to be doing exactly this. Looking back, I was bullied because I'm meant to be here right now, helping people through their journey.
Yeah.
But the hindsight is the most spectacular thing, and it's almost like you wish you could fast forward
Yeah.
to get there,
Yeah.
to look back at this very moment.
Yep.
But I just trust the process.
Yeah. It's that whole concept of the things happening for you, not to you.
Yes.
And then that being the long game.
Yeah.
I love that.
Is there anything else you want to add? Say to people, give us your inspo. You're so good at this.
Well, you know what? It's probably not inspo, but I just think Brooke and Sid and I have such a journey of friendship, and I just love friendship and also professionalism in the industries that we come from and how our lives kind of cross paths and how we all met and things. This is a hindsight moment of who would have thought
I know.
back then.
Look at this.
Isn't it
I'm the one,
crazy?
I don't know if you've said it yet because I'm a few episodes ahead, but if you've been listening to Brooke saying she moved to the Gold Coast to do the dance course, I'm the person that forced her to move.
If you didn't give me the chance, we wouldn't be here right now.
Well, even I think from like just a stalking perspective, like, come on, just get here, shut up, let's go. What are you thinking about?
It was very much like that. I remember you were like, send it to me, and I was like, okay. I think like 2 days later, you're like, where is it? And I was like, what? I'll get it to you. Oh my God.
Stress, leave me alone.
But yeah, no, it's so cool, hey.
And I just think that's another thing in hindsight. It's just such a beautiful thing that we're sitting here right now and how the paths were crossed and how our friendships were formed and things like that. I think, it's magnificent.
It's awesome.
Oh, I'm so grateful for this moment.
Me too.
And I'm
Me
so
too.
grateful for all the decisions that happened to lead to this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, bad and ugly. And I hope that whatever you're going through, I don't know, out there listening to this, you can find that same gratitude and really,
And follow Auntie on Instagram.
do it.
And just start liking yourself first.
Like it.
Don't
Even if
love
it's
yourself,
one thing,
just
even if
love
it's two
yourself.
things.
Yep. And if you don't know what to like about yourself, write to us. We'll tell you a couple of things we like about you.
Hey,
We're
what do
really
you
good at
like
that.
about yourself then? I'm really interested.
About myself?
Yeah.
I create vibe.
Yes,
I
you
just
do.
love that. I don't even mean to, but I just do, and I just love the vibes I create.
Yeah.
I'm a
about you,
really
Brooke?
kind person.
Yes.
I am.
You are.
I am very friendly.
Yep. Heart on legs.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
me.
It's not hard to do that, is it? Just
No,
to
it's
say
not.
something and feel it and be in that moment of just
Yeah.
like self-like or self-love.
Yeah.
Yep.
And do it for you.
Yes.
Not do it because someone else told
No,
you that's what you
exactly.
are.
Yeah.
Do it because you know you are.
Yeah.
Yep.
And everyone's so different and unique. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
for
Thanks
joining
for
us
coming
today.
and talk and BS with us. It's been amazing.
Anytime. Loved it.
Oh, it's
Follow
amazing.
Auntie on Instagram at I Can Achieve, right?
At Anthony Ikin.
Oh,
At
Anthony
Anthony
Ikin.
Ikin.
But I think if you type in I Can Achieve, that comes up
it
anyway.
comes up. Yeah.
Perfect. Yes, get your head around that.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you, gang.
listening.
Thanks, guys.
Love you.
See you next time.
Bye.
Love
Bye.
you all.